Emerald Fennell returns with her sophomore film Saltburn, and I've got my review right now. This video is brought to you by Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com and enter promo code Murrell for a special offer, and stay tuned after the review for more info. Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my review of Saltburn. I am still away in New Zealand. I'm in a wonderful motel here in Christchurch, New Zealand, although I saw this movie in a really lovely holiday town called Nelson. There was a small theater there called The State that sort of served the local community, some very small, very intimate auditoriums. I really loved seeing these different movie theaters. I've been to the Embassy in Wellington, the Roxy in Wellington, which I'm going to talk a lot more about, and then now The State. I think I might hit up one more while I'm here. And I've had some people saying, some people in all caps saying, stop working on your honeymoon. I will say, first of all, there are some videos that I still have to do because I wasn't able to bank enough for 2 or 3 weeks away, which is how long I'm going to be away. But secondly, I did marry somebody who enjoys going to the movies with me. It's one of our favorite activities, and it's been so much fun to see these different theaters here. And reviews are actually pretty easy to knock out on the fly. I can do them in a few hours, and then I can go on and do other stuff. So I'm not taking time away from doing anything. This is a wonderful honeymoon, and it's a bit of an extended one, so don't worry. I'm having a great time, and I'm happy to be able to talk about these movies. And let's talk about Saltburn. As I mentioned, it is the follow-up for Emerald Fennell to her Oscar-winning debut, which was Promising Young Woman. She won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay for that film. The movie stars Barry Keoghan as Oliver, a new student at Oxford University who finds that academic achievement falls far behind wealth when it comes to popularity and success. But Oliver's fortunes change when he befriends Felix, played by Jacob Elordi, a wealthy and desired classmate who shows interest in Oliver's more common background.
Take my bike.
No, I couldn't. I mean, it looks like rain. I wouldn't want to.
Honestly, it's no big deal. I mean, I'll just get it from you later. You're my college, so...
Am I?
Felix invites Oliver to spend the summer at his family estate called Saltburn, where Oliver has to navigate the even more complicated politics of Felix's family, including his mother, played by Rosamund Pike, his father, played by Richard E. Grant, his sister, played by Alison Oliver, and his American cousin of more modest means, Farley, played by Archie Madekwe, who resents another presence potentially upsetting the family balance.
Oh, what beautiful eyes. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, I told you it wasn't a minger.
Oh, but darling, you're kind about everyone. You can't be trusted.
And the character of Oliver is incredibly psychologically complex, one of the more complex characters I can think of in a recent movie. His station in life is often pitiable, but he has his own secret motivations, and as the movie unfolds, we begin to question whether we should actually be siding with this person at all. I love movies, if they're done properly, that have an unreliable narrator or an unreliable protagonist, and Barry Keoghan's performance really kind of plays into that mold because he's incredibly easy to sympathize with in one moment, but in the next moment you just want to crawl out of your skin. It's really tough to balance those kinds of things or those different types of things in one performance and have it feel like the same character. And Barry Keoghan's able to do that very, very well. This movie is often an uncomfortable watch. It goes places other films would cut away from to spare the audience. Emerald Fennell has no such interest as far as letting the audience off the hook, and you should know that going in, that there are definitely some very uncomfortable parts of this movie, but it all plays into this character that we're watching develop. If Saltburn has a critical flaw or a major flaw, I would say that it's trying to say a few too many things, and it's really trying to tell 3 different stories all at the same time with 3 different themes. The first story is a psychosexual one of obsession revolving around Oliver and Felix. There is an obvious physical attraction between the two, at least as far as Oliver's concerned, but as Oliver's time at Saltburn progresses, questions begin to pop up around the real subject of his obsession. Is his obsession Felix? Is it his family? Is it Saltburn and his wealth and the access? And what is it about Oliver that draws Felix's family to him? Is it the fact that he is an outsider, that he does come from a different background, and that he's able to say and do things to this family that very few people have had the guts to say and do before? These are all very interesting questions. The movie explores some of them, but I think it gets a little bit of a short shrift in favor of the other things that the movie's doing. Another thread is very much class commentary, as Felix's family takes in his poor classmate with a combination of pity, fascination, and a slight tinge of twisted satisfaction. There's a great early scene where Oliver learns that his professor at Oxford is far less interested in things like academics or working to get ahead, and far more interested in getting this secondhand access to the wealth and fame that Farley has to offer. And it's really from this that everything else plays out. The idea that Oliver in many ways has done everything quote unquote right. He's a hard worker, he's an ardent student, but nobody really cares about that. They are drawn to the wealth, to the money, to the power, to the fame and popularity. And that's sort of the filter through which this entire film flows. Felix's parents are also the best kind of out-of-touch twits, completely disconnected from the real world, and that provides a lot of the movie's humor, with Rosamund Pike and Richard E. Grant throwing out one-liners that cut deep and land well. It also pays off in a scene where this family is forced to face reality, probably for the first time ever in their lives, and they utterly fail to rise to the task. It is the darkest of dark comedy, but it really, really works. And the class commentary stuff for me is the stuff that hits the hardest. The third thread is a character study on Oliver himself as we question who he is and what he wants, and this is where the movie hits its peaks and valleys. There are great moments of revelation, but because the movie is also following these other threads and trying to do commentaries on other things, these moments of revelation feel rushed or like they don't quite reconcile with previous events. Saltburn, for the majority of its runtime, plays out like a character study, but it resolves like a mystery, and I don't necessarily think that the two things fit together particularly well, but it's sort of all cemented together and held together by this glue that is Barry Keoghan's performance. I think it is one of the better performances I've seen this year. I haven't seen a lot of the awards movies. I'm still sort of behind on that. I have to do a big binge when I get back to the States and I'm able to really dig into a lot of the award stuff. But Barry Keoghan goes on my short list because regardless of what I think about the movie itself, Barry Keoghan's performance is an absolute highlight. And I really think that he is turning into one of the most complex and interesting and reliable actors working today. The rest of the cast is also strong, with my favorite performances coming from Rosamund Pike and Richard E. Grant, as well as Archie Madekwe, whose Farley starts out as contemptible, utterly contemptible, then transitions through a lot of different shades as the story unfolds. Archie Madekwe, I thought, was a very compelling lead in Gran Turismo, which was a movie that I thought had a very average and uncompelling story in many ways. And here he is a standout supporting performer in a cast full of standout supporting performances. He's an actor that I'm really going to be tracking because I think that there is a lot of potential there, and I look forward to seeing more of what's in store from him. Saltburn, like Promising Young Woman, is stylishly directed by Fennell with fantastic cinematography from Oscar winner Linus Sandgren, who won the Academy Award for La La Land and also shot Damien Chazelle's First Man and Babylon. And there was a decision made to use the Academy ratio, basically hemming our characters into a 4x3 square box. That was the right decision because much of the eroticism and the threat of these characters requires them to be inches from each other in the frame. And Saltburn itself isn't meant to be seen as majestic, but as a cage in which Oliver is being poked and prodded. This is a great example of style and substance and how they work together, a form following function, and why the choice of aspect ratio isn't just something about the aesthetic of the film or just the look of the film, but it's about how the look of the film works with the script, with the screenplay, and the story. And this is something that I would teach in a film class about why choosing how you shoot the film is so important. I think the hidden curse of winning an Academy Award, particularly if you're Emerald Fennell and you win the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay on your first feature film, is that there's so much expectation that is sort of heaped upon your second film. Because I think that if Saltburn was Emerald Fennell's first film, then I think it would be hailed as a breakthrough from a promising young director, no pun intended. But because it follows Promising Young Woman, I fear that some people might view Saltburn as a bit of a disappointment because I don't think that narratively or story-wise it comes together quite as well as that first movie. I do think it's still an incredibly compelling story that's really made by uniformly strong performances with a disturbing and often brilliant lead performance from Barry Keoghan. And on my personal scale, Saltburn lands solidly in the It's Good category, which I don't think should be a punishable offense just because it doesn't quite measure up to Fennell's first film. And I think that what this does is really cement her on that watch list of people that I will be anxious to see whatever they do next. She has a fearlessness that I think could lead to perhaps a little bit too much excess or triumph or a mixture of both. But whatever she makes, I think that this proves that her films are going to be interesting and worth watching. And really, what more could you ask for from a director working right now? So that's a recommendation from me on Saltburn. And before we go, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Stamps.com. Holiday shopping season is officially here, and it's important to keep your wish list updated. I remember one year I asked for a Blu-ray player, but no movies, so it really wasn't that useful at first. And as you're looking at this year's list, you can't be blamed for forgetting to add Stamps.com. After all, everybody makes mistakes. Stamps.com has been helping customers save time and money during the holidays for 25 years with easy access to USPS and UPS services and premium rates for all your postage needs. Why make the holidays even harder when Stamps.com can help you share the workload? It's your own personal post office. All you need is a computer and a printer, and you can leave that scale off the wish list because they will provide a postage scale for you. And with the Stamps.com mobile app, you can take care of all your orders and scheduling package pickups on the go. Stamps.com provides carrier discounts up to 84% off USPS and UPS rates and automatically tells you your cheapest and fastest shipping options. It's no wonder that Stamps.com has been an invaluable resource to small businesses for 25 years in this holiday crunch, because you can get access to the USPS and UPS services you need right from your computer anytime, day or night. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Give your business the gift of Stamps.com so your mailing and shipping is covered this holiday season. Sign up with promo code Murrell for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code Murrell. Thanks to Stamps.com for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching. I think I'm going to have one more video for you here from New Zealand. I've got a couple of pre-taped things that are still yet to run, and then the next time I see you in real time, I think I will be back in my home studio. Thanks so much for spending part of your day here with me. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.